foul. Upside down blues. Doesn't sound that bad actually. Kept singing the blues 'cause it's raining outside. You don't wanna get wet hair 'cause it goes in his eyes.
Hello, welcome to In the Court of the Wenton King. Controversial, we're doing another Pryapisme album. You may be wondering why on earth would you do two of them? You only need one of them in your life, surely. But, yes. But yeah, this is supposedly an EP. It's an EP really because it's a 20-minute piece and then an orchestral version of the same 20-minute piece. So that's an EP, isn't it? Sort of. It's 45 minutes long.
Can I turn those speakers down, please, Kev?
Oh yes, switch it off actually.
What I can hear.
There we go. Yeah, Hyperblast Supercollider was 2013, this one is 2015, so this year I hear a maturity in their compositions. It is different. It definitely sounds like the same band, but it is different, and it suggests that we've underestimated them to a certain extent, I think. I mean, it's really good. In terms of what's actually different with the music, there's voices on there, but there's also a lot of instruments on there, a lot of different instruments, not just electronic instruments, drums and guitar, which helps tremendously with the whole feel of it. The question is it actually more sophisticated music? And I'm not sure I know the answer to that completely yet, but yeah, it's great. I mean, there's also a kind of a world music thing going on. It reminds me of some of the early DGM bands. There's some really cool bands that were on the early stages of DGM before they sort of switched to a more sensible business model, and it reminds me of those. They clearly know what they're doing. They aren't just messing around. They aren't a comedy band really. You know, they've written this fantastic, relatively cohesive 22-minute piece of music, which is fantastic. They have matured and they have evolved. The music is more reasoned, if you like. I mean, there's bits that remind me of Universe Zero. There's bits that remind me of Synclavier Zappa. There is less metal, although the metal is still there, isn't it? But I think that's because it's been pushed out by more stuff. So that's good. It means there's more different things. More different things is good. I probably prefer it, probably. But at the same time, it's Hyperblast Super Collider is the one you would say, listen to this. So what do you think of this? You know, for a bit of fun. But this is the one with maybe with a bit more depth to it, possibly.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most awesome things we've ever reviewed. What's been added to the mix? Hyperblast Super Collider was like, in your face, have that, lots of fast drumming. Yeah. We're gonna.
This is our idea.
Yeah, get that down your skull. What's been added to this is subtlety. There are moments of quite a lot actually of stepping back and taking the foot off the gas, so that when they do go for the heavier bits and the faster bits, it has an
emotional impact.
A greater impact, yeah. The chip tunes are still there, but you've also got this massive expanse of different instruments, which are all played really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not messing around here. They're actually musicians of some competence on this album. It is sort of composed as one cohesive piece, but it's broken down into 11 parts, which are fairly distinct actually. They seem to hit the break at just the right point where it could be considered a separate track, and you can listen to it as separate tracks. Obviously, the chiptunes were quite a big thing for the band, as well as images of cats and comedy. I think the comedy's still there, although the comedy's kind of lost on us because there's like a lot of French spoken word from movies and
which is probably really funny. So
which we don't know. So it's, if we pick up anything, it's on the music comedy, and there is, you know, a little bit of that in there. And that's quite a difficult thing for a heavy metal band or dark metal band to pull off, really. I mean, dark metal and humour don't really go, but they managed to pull it off, and that's just one of the many things that they managed to pull off. They take things which have been traditionally quite difficult, like piano and electric guitar, to get them working well, and there are parts on this album where they do bring them together, along with sort of like something like a breakbeat sensibility, and somehow they put all this together, and it comes out. And it sounds.
It's cohesive.
It sounds natural. It sounds like music. Doesn't sound forced or anything like that. There's no real impedance between the different musical styles, and that's essentially what their sort of writing process is. It's sort of get a list of musical styles and put them one after the other, and see how they can stitch it all together so it doesn't feel jarring. And it is quite amazing how they do that. How densely packed it is. How many changes there are, and how natural it seems. The last one had very a computer gamey vibe because of the chip tunes and stuff like that. This feels more cinematic in places, so you can almost imagine it as a film soundtrack as well as a game soundtrack. There are some parts of it.
Yeah, it's too good to be a game soundtrack. I think that's probably what it is.
You know, you would expect game soundtracks to be getting better and better.
Oh, they are, definitely, yeah.
The kind of money they're pumping into these things now. And what you've got essentially is a massive condensation of practically every album we've ever reviewed on Call the Wenton King into one
20
album.
20 minutes.
It's just it's all there.
Yeah.
I actually think after listening to tracks 1 to 11, which is the piece in its entirety, you've got the symphonic version in one long 22-minute there. I don't think the symphonic thing is interesting. I don't think it actually adds that much to the album, other than says these are serious musicians. Although they're having a lark, they're doing what they enjoy as well as be cool and fairly technical music-wise.
Yeah.
But they're also serious musicians that can do pretty serious music.
Yeah, I think putting the orchestral track second is significant because, well, they obviously did it with an orchestra. You can tell by the sound it's not programmed. I think maybe some of the instruments are programmed on the original bit, but the orchestra bit is pretty good. But obviously, it takes something away from what they already have. So
there is a mirror actually. There is they've done an EP of the best tracks from their first two albums in chip tune versions, basically. So they're completely chip tunes, and you can pay what you want for it, or download it very, very cheap. Which might be worth it. So there's a nice little bit of symmetry there. So they can do from chip tunes to the full symphonic
epicness.
Yeah.
I mean, you said they're a metal band, and they kind of are a metal band. Yeah, in essence.
They describe themselves as dark metal meets chip tunes.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But I mean that would be kind of hard to pull out from here. There are moments of dark metal and heavy metal.
I think they've been on a journey for a long time, obviously. Probably started out as metal. I mean, the thing about metal, the problem with what metal became is it became so conservative. Metal bands, they play that and they play nothing else, and they're very good at that, but nothing else. And that's boring, isn't it? And you can like an album, but you wouldn't want to only do that. That's the thing I've never understood. You want lots.
Yeah.
And this is that. Very much so.
They seem to have embraced the digital age, to speak, in the sense that a very small group of people can do music with a wide range of instruments. Yeah. Because it can be mixed so easily. And it's obvious that there's no real thought to live performance here. Because absolutely. So the production of the album or the EP is the thing in itself. There's no thinking beyond that. Maybe music videos on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I assume that they do play it live, but I imagine they would have made it and then they would have had to learn it. Good luck.
Well, maybe we'll see a video on YouTube pop up of them performing some of this live. It'll be interesting to see how they pull it off.
The whole piece is called, I'll say it because it's funny if I try and say French, Petit traité de Futurologie sur l'homo cretinus trampolinis. Is that trampolining cretins that are all the same in the future?
Maybe.
Something like that. And sans annexe sur le nageur Coldale. So yeah, number 1.
Track 1. They're all very short tracks, by the way, aren't they?
Yeah. They're nearly all, most of them are out of 11 tracks, 5 are greater than 2 minutes. So, yeah, first track though, Wistful Harps. There's harp on there. I don't think it's a real harp, but it kind of doesn't matter in this day and age. What does it make me think of? It makes me think of those sort of early DGM bands. There was some weird album where Tony Levin and some other people went into a mountain, into a cave, and recorded in a cave. And there's a world music thing in there, isn't there? Which is, you didn't expect that. then it goes NES, then it goes metal, then there's kind of Caribbean metal, and then some other stuff, and then and
it's a good opening for the album because it gives you the template. It's going through the gears at breakneck speed, all the different different styles, all in one go. It's it's good.
Number 2.
This is like Chinesey type.
Yeah,
inspired stuff,
I wish I knew what that was called. It sounds Chinese.
Yeah, but this starts to give it the cinematic feel because you feel like there's a bit of music for one scene, and there's another bit of music for another scene. Like I don't know, in the Buddhist temple learning kung fu. So you're gonna
and you've got loads of percussive stuff, and you've got the what's it called, the Australian boing thing.
Yeah,
what's that called?
Boing.
The Australian boing thing.
Yeah.
Track 3.
This starts off with some talking voice stuff, which we don't understand.
But you've got some trad instruments on here. If they're not real instruments, it's very well programmed. Put it that way. It's not just a violin sound. It sounds dark, and it's at this point. I mean, I thought Universe Zero, that kind of thing. And there's more of that later on as well.
I didn't think so much Universe Zero. There's like saxophone or something like that. There's some kind of. And I actually thought it reminded me a little bit of Gong. When I first listened to Gong, it was sort of like that saxophone. I used to sit there thinking, get that bloody saxophone out of my head. And there's a bit of that going on. It's a bit more experimental.
Yeah, halfway through we get the obligatory marimba, and then towards the end it gets a lot more sort of Zappa synclavier-ness.
You can't get any more Zappa than marimba, Kev.
Number 4.
There's a good transition to this one because obviously we're going from craziness.
Yeah.
And it goes, sort of sets up like this heavy theme. It
goes big orchestral, doesn't it? Yeah.
So it sets up this heavy theme and it plays with it a bit, brings it back, and then it chops up with the beat and stuff like that, and gets a bit dancey. It's
but properly dancey, which I found disturbing. I think it's just me more than. I don't think there's anything wrong with the music. I think oh, it's dance.
I mean, one of my big secrets is I actually quite like the Chemical Brothers. Parts of the Chemical Brothers as well, and they seem to when they get dancey, it is very breakbeat Chemical Brothers type dancing. So my arena, and this is where it goes. This is actually, in terms of composition, I thought this was quite a high point in the album with that theme and it sort of coming back later in the song.
Number 5, Bombast. I think is the best way to describe this one. Made me think of Steve Vai, Garden, or when he was doing his complex stuff. And it is the metal dance thing again. Yeah.
Well, there's some wind instruments at the beginning, I think. Well, yeah, there are some wind instruments at the beginning, and there's the computer gamey thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're going through a journey here, and you notice that the tracks sometimes are similar, and it goes through different moods as it goes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, track 6 as well, very intense syncopated stuff. I think probably the hardest bit to play will be this track.
Yeah.
Actually made me think of Dream Theater for the first time, which the previous album didn't at all, which is interesting. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is where I start to realise how good this album was, because you got the heavy drumming, and it goes jazzy and funky all at the same time.
Yeah.
And you start to realise how are they putting this together in such a cohesive way.
But I think doing it electronically is much easier. You probably program it first, and then you play along with it, rather than just trying to write it and then I'll play it. Is a lot harder, So they've probably got a chiptune version of it before they'd actually recorded it. Any band at all, or any synth instruments.
Yeah. Yeah, track 7.
Track 7. Start of track 7, you think you're going to have a quiet respite, it kind of starts, it comes down a bit. But then more. It goes more. 8-bit Dream Theater, I think. It's probably more complex than anything Dream Theater have done, actually. But I don't know what makes... Those 2 tracks make me think of Dream Theater.
This sort of made me think of Hyperbass Super Collider, actually. Sort of, we're back at that...
Because it's so intense.
Yeah. And what it made me think was, actually, this starts to make Hyperblast Super Collider sound a little bit dated, which was unthinkable 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, there we are. It's only 2 years later. Yeah. But they've really progressed.
Yeah, they have.
Literally, yeah.
Track 8.
Track 8. Universe Zero Evilness. But with the evil dark strings, probably maybe cellos in that kind of thing, but with feedback coming through as well. I don't know how they would have programmed that. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they did that later. I don't know. That's one of my 2 favourite things on there. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, my notes for this, I put, okay, Universe Zero, eat your heart out. Ominous turned up to 10.
Yeah.
So it really is quite...
Well, the best description is mwahaha.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Yeah, this was... I mean, we're going from Universe Zero, and then they've got this transition into something a lot softer, which starts with sort of like dance music. You've got this dum, dum, dum beat going on.
You've got a butch, butch, and
then
so it is...
the piano comes in. It's a quite traditional piano, and it sounds fantastic. Like this is wonderful. Yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
And then some electric guitars come in with the piano, and that all fits as well. And you think, this is the dream. This is
the thing. Yeah, they have made the dream true.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say if there's a warning about this album, it's the danciness. If you're dancephobic,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with the actual music. It's that if you're, I mean, I dislike things like dubstep. I quite like your drum and bassy, breakbeat, jungle, that stuff, because that was at a time when things were happening and it was exciting, you know. But things have just been simplified over time, and now it's boring. Obviously, so you can dance to it, obviously. But if you feel like that, you might be put off. But I mean, it's not a lot of the album, really, is it? It's only sections of it. But it's important to the flow of the album as well. So
yeah. Track 10.
Track 10. Synth voice choir. So you got a synth voice and choir stuff on there as well. Maybe it's all generated by computer. I don't know. It sounds like there's people really singing as well.
Yeah.
But the synth voice is it's not Stephen Hawking. It's actually sort of a simpler. It's 8-bit synth voice, if you like, which is kind of cool. I wish I knew what they were saying. That might be my favourite thing as well. That and the Universe Zero-y piece. Those two tracks for me.
I like the way, because the last track finishes quite heavy. It's quite in your face, and this dials it down. But it's gone from sort of like really heavily crazy to softly unnerving.
Yeah.
And sort of builds again, and that's quite a dramatic impact. It makes it slightly more unsettling.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The whole album doesn't end with a da-da, which is really, really good. And the way they ended it is really, really good. The last 3 tracks, the way that works is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because track 11 is solo piano.
It's a bit of piano.
Nice bit of piano.
It is.
Yeah. And that's a really good coda.
Yeah.
I just ordered coda, actually. Yeah. The 3-disc version.
I read an interview with what's-his-face about that in The Guardian. So yeah, so track 12 is just a symphonic version of everything we've been through.
We think it's better with the band.
Yeah.
So yeah, did we give it? I think we gave it 4 eggs the last one, didn't we?
Yeah.
This is 5 eggs. Easy 5 eggs, definitely. It's on our recommended list.
Definitely. What did we give Stephen Wilson's doobie?
5. He always gets 5. Goes in the same category for me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just wondering if I want to go up to All the Way.
All the Way.
Because actually, listening to this, if I actually made music properly, I think
you'd want to have made that.
That's what I would want to have made.
Rather than singles.
So I'm going to give it 6.
Boom! So yeah, see you next time. See you for something else, something. We don't know yet, we haven't decided, so you know. See you soon. Bye bye!